quarreled over the chore of washing the dishes. Imelda would scold Hugo if he refused to wash the dishes. Sometimes, she would become angry and call him names. And if he talked back, she would get her coconut knitter broom and chase with him. He would run to the house of his compadre and hide there till his wife's anger had passed. The neighbor familiarly called Cross Imelda Kamaldang and Hugo Kaugo. One day, just as they were finishing their lunch, Kaugong announced,
I'm not going to wash the dishes anymore.
I say so.
I say so. I worked hard to fill this morning. I'm not going to wash any dishes.
And who, Mr. Hugo, is going to wash these dishes?
You are the woman. You should do all the housework.
And what do? You tie the car out to the rinse in the field, and then you lie down on the grass and watch it waste? You call that hard work? I cook, clean the house, wash your clothes, scrub the floor, and do all the work that all the slaves do. And yet, you even refuse to help me wash the plate from which you're eaten.
Kamaldang's voice was now raised to a high pitch and her tears poisoned her eyelids ready to pour down. She looked at Kaugong and her broom. She grabbed the broom. She raised the broom to strike him, crying,
You lazy man!
Don't strike me, listen.
Come out! Come out from under the table! You coward!
Please, listen. I have a plan. We decide to wash these dishes.
Come out!
Okay,
Come out!
okay.
Come out and speak with the man!
Okay.
Now you lay it under the table!
Okay, lay down your broom.
All right. Come out!
Kaugong returned to a seat opposite her at the table.
And what have you to say?
Okay, let's stop quarreling over the plates. Let's have a wager. Who talked first after I said the word begin will wash these dishes always.
Only that? The first one who talked will always wash the plates, the bowls, the pans. Always.
You're right. You talk with me, to anybody, to anything. You always wash these dishes.
That's easy. I don't give him up shots for me. You cannot. Look at Dr. Carver.
Okay. Are you ready?
Kamaldang sat upright in front of him across the table. She nodded her head, compressed her lips, and Kaugong said,
Begin.
They both fell silent. They sat at the table looking at each other across the unwashed plates and bowls and spoons. They didn't like to leave each other for fear that one would talk to himself without others hearing. They sat there just staring. Soon the can began to mew its food. Neither Kamaldang nor Kaugong paid any attention to its mewing. The cat jumped upon the drying dishes to lick the leftovers. Kamaldang nor Kaugong paid any attention. The cat overturned the kettle, spilled its contents, then went to lie down under the table. Kaugong pretended that nothing had happened. He continued to sit still and so did Kamaldang. Soon it was getting late in the afternoon, but they went on sitting mutely at the lunch table. Their eyes were tired from staring hard at each other. Tears began to roll down their cheeks. Kaugong's shirt became damp with sweat. Kamaldang's sweat gathered on her forehead and trickled down to the side of her face and fell drop by drop to her breast. A neighbor called,
Compadre Ugong! Compadre Ugong!
Kaugong did not answer and the neighbor called again.
Compadre Magdang! Compadre Magdang! Compadre Ugong!
Did
May
not
I borrow
answer.
your wax?
Kamaldang did not answer. Kaugong looked at her silently.
Perhaps nobody's home.
They heard the neighbor say to himself,
Why did they leave my ladder at the door? They usually remove the ladder when they go away. Well, we will just go up, get the axe, and return again.
the neighbor went up. When the neighbor went up the bamboo ladder, He was surprised to see Kamaldang and Kaugong sitting silently at the table, where plates had dried up with leftovers. He hurried towards them.
What happened, compadre? Speak, compadre. What happened?
Kaugong neither moved nor talked.
Comadre? What happened, comadre? Speak, comadre, madam.
Kaugong let him shake him, closing lips lighter.
Compadre, please speak. What happened?
She pushed him roughly aside but did not speak.
Did you eat something poisoned in the talk?
The neighbor was alarmed. He did not get the axe, but ran out of the house to the rest of the neighbors. He told them that something terrible had happened to his comadre Maldang and compadre Ugo. The neighbors gathered at Kamaldang's dining room. They took turns trying to make them speak. But the two continued to sit staring at each other in silence. Kamaldang looked at her husband threateningly for a moment, then closed her eyes. Kaugong knew that she did so to avoid at the neighbors. He also closed his eyes and ignored everyone who had come up to his house. Kamaldang was very angry with her compadre's interference, but she dared not speak her mind. She pretended to be asleep. The commander was very much worried. He ran to the village earthman. The earthman came to the village, and when he saw the motionless, silent husband and wife sitting at the table, they were bewitched! He spread the woven worry mat in the sala and asked the bewitched couple lie down. Kaugong obediently lay down and closed his eyes. He curled up and went to sleep. But Kamaldang refused to get up from where she sat at the dining table. The earthman said,
Ah! The spirit which has taken possession of her is very stubborn and must break its spell.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
he then produced from a small bag which he always carried 9 pieces of betel leaf, a piece of areca nut, a little lime from a tiny bone. He examined the leaf closely to choose those with the veins running in identical arrangement on his side of the midriff. He cut the nut into 9 pieces. He spread a little lime on each betel leaf, rolled them, and wrapped them around each piece of areca nut. He now had 9 rings of the leaves.
This represents the lost spirit of the couple.
Kaya, kaya. Kaya, kaya. Ay! Kaya, kaya. Kaya, kaya. Ay! Kaya, kaya. Ay! He chewed the leaf and nut. When he had chewed it, he spat on his palm, dipped a forefinger of the other hand into the nut-colored saliva, and marked it with across the forehead of Kaugong. Kaugong did not seem to feel the old man's fingers on his forehead, and Kamaldang caught the man's fingers and twisted it. The old herb doctor cried. Run! He moved toward Kaugong, who was lying down, calling his name slowly several times.